when money loses value faster than paper burns. Chaos follows. And in the 1920s, Germany lived through it. Picture this: a loaf of bread costing billions of marks, people pushing wheelbarrows of cash just to buy groceries, children building kites and toys out of worthless banknotes, families who had saved for decades, suddenly realizing their life savings couldn't even buy a cup of coffee. This was Weimar Germany's hyperinflation, the first modern collapse of money itself. And here's the scary part: it didn't just destroy wealth, it destroyed trust. It ripped apart the middle class, and it opened the door to one of history's darkest chapters. So how did this happen? And more importantly, could it happen again? Stay with me, because once you understand this story, you'll never look at money the same way again. Let's rewind to 1918. Germany had just lost World War I. The Kaiser was gone, the empire collapsed, and the Treaty of Versailles demanded impossible reparations: 132 billion gold marks. That's trillions in today's money. Factories were damaged, trade routes cut off, millions of workers dead or injured. The new Weimar Republic was weak, divided, and broke. So how do you pay when you're broke? You borrow, you print. And that's what Germany did. At first, just to cover reparations and basic wages. But then, to paper over every problem. The printing presses ran day and night. And while it looked like stimulus, what it really did was flood the country with money that wasn't backed by gold, or production, or trust. Money became paper, and paper, without trust, is just ink. At first, people thought it was working. Factories reopened, workers got their wages, shops saw customers again, politicians declared, "We're recovering." Wages were climbing, and people felt richer. On payday, numbers on the paycheck looked bigger and bigger. But here's the catch: prices climbed even faster. A loaf of bread doubled, then doubled again. A tram ticket cost more in the evening than it had that same morning. People rushed to spend their money immediately, because waiting even a few hours meant their wages lost value. Imagine getting paid on Friday morning, and by Friday night, half your paycheck was gone, not because you spent it, but because the money itself was worth less. At first, it felt like a nuisance, but then it turned into panic. By 1923, it was insanity. Bread didn't cost 10 marks, or 100, it cost billions. A cup of coffee? You ordered it, and by the time you finished drinking, the price had already gone up. People carried wages home in laundry baskets and wheelbarrows, and sometimes thieves ignored the money and stole the wheelbarrow, because the wood and metal were worth more than the paper inside. Families wallpapered their homes with banknotes, because it was cheaper than buying wallpaper. Housewives burned bundles of marks in their stoves, because it was cheaper than firewood. Children used stacks of money as building blocks. Imagine a world where cash was literally treated like trash. And the worst part? A lifetime of savings, gone overnight. Retirees who had worked 40 years found their pensions worth less than the price of a loaf of bread. The middle class, the backbone of society, was wiped out in months. This wasn't inflation. This was hyperinflation, the total breakdown of money itself. Now think about the psychology. If money, the thing you use to measure value, collapses, how do you plan? How do you save? How do you even survive? You don't. You scramble. Workers demanded to be paid twice a day before prices rose again. Farmers refused to bring food into the cities because cash was worthless. Instead, they bartered directly. Crops for shoes, eggs for coal, cigarettes for bread. Barter replaced money. Chaos replaced trust. And in that chaos, anger grew. Ordinary people felt betrayed by their government. That anger became fertile soil for radical politics. Communists promised revolution. Fascists promised order and strength. Hyperinflation didn't just destroy bank accounts. It destroyed democracy. It cracked the foundations of society. And out of that rubble, a man named Adolf Hitler would later rise. The price of money breaking was far greater than financial. It was human. It was political. Here's the part that should make you shiver. Hyperinflation never begins with chaos. It begins with good intentions, a government under pressure, an economy in crisis, and the temptation to print just a little more. It's temporary. It's necessary. It's for the people. That's what they said in Weimar Germany. That's what leaders have said in Venezuela, in Zimbabwe, in Argentina. And every time, once trust breaks, the currency dies. Because money isn't just paper. It's belief. Belief that tomorrow, your cash will still buy what it buys today. Break that belief, and no central bank in the world can save you. So let's ask the question, could it happen again? The uncomfortable answer is yes. Because hyperinflation isn't really about economics, it's about trust. If people believe their currency holds value, the system survives. If they stop believing, if they think their money is just paper, collapse can happen fast. Look at 2008. Look at 2020. Governments printed trillions to hold the system together. For now, it worked. But trust is fragile. Weimar Germany shows us that once it's gone, it doesn't come back easily. And when money dies, it's not just wallets that break, it's societies. So the next time you hear about stimulus or money printing, remember Weimar Germany. Because history whispers a warning, money can burn. And when it does, so can everything built on it. If this gave you a new perspective, don't just scroll away. Hit subscribe. This is Economic Chronicles, where history exposes the present, and the future is written in the lessons we refuse to learn.